I just like Marita.
Aywa jamenu se kodo. Aywa jamenu se kodo. Aywa jamenu se kodo. Aywa jamenu se kodo. Ndu se kodo kodo tat. Aywa jamenu se kodo. Mojane bonane kodo tat. Aywa jamenu se kodo. Mojane bonane kodo tat.
It takes a village to raise a child who smiles wide and loves wider, their eyes brighter than a million stars, capable of creating constellations. With their bare hands they played, without inhibition. They danced to their own rhythm. They didn't understand the concept of poverty, for they were rich in love and they were happy. It takes a village to teach a girl, a black girl from D.C. who never really felt at home there. Her DNA tainted with stolen land and stolen people. When she came to Senegal, she found warmth in the arms of a 4-year-old who taught her to laugh and smile and play and be free again. It took a village more than 3,000 miles away for the girl to find herself, and the meaning of family, and the meaning of true wealth in the midst of true poverty. When I first arrived at Nyanda, I was amazed at how alive it was. I was greeted by children who rushed towards me with huge smiles asking my name. There was never a dull moment with them. They were constantly occupying themselves with a new game they made up, or they would play soccer. Regardless, they were having fun, and they weren't complaining. They welcomed us into their homes with open arms, and eventually, they began to feel like younger siblings to me. But of course, at the end of the day, we were forced to face the harsh reality that these bright, sweet, loving children were living in some of the most extreme poverty circumstances imaginable. I was fortunate enough to have the opportunity to visit the inside of the local elementary school, which really consisted of 2 medium-sized classrooms made with cement walls and 2 smaller classrooms made of tree branches and tin. Then I was allowed to visit a class of extremely intelligent students, some of whom could speak more than 2 languages. What was so amazing to me is that kids with no access to resources that would typically be considered necessities to learning were the brightest kids I've ever met in my life. I interviewed the principal of the elementary school, and she told me that up to 60 children would learn in one classroom at a time. In the makeshift classrooms, the students had to cover the walls with burlap to keep dust storms from coming in. It is extremely difficult for students to learn in these circumstances, but they do it because it's necessary. Another issue that actually wasn't very apparent on the surface of Njanda was lack of access to something that we all need to live and be healthy: medical care. In Senegal, the minimum wage is 50 cents per hour, and in Njanda, the majority of families live below the poverty line and can't afford proper medical care. Meet Ibrahim. I met him at the worksite by the elementary school. I noticed him coughing and wheezing with red eyes that were struggling to stay open. I asked his sister if he was sick. Yes, she replied. But then she told me that her family didn't have enough money to take him to the hospital. I then decided, along with my good friend Perpetua, that we would ask the mayor to drive us to the hospital so that we could get Ibrahim the proper medicine that he needed. Along with his mother, we took Ibrahim to the local hospital, where the doctor diagnosed him with a fever, a respiratory infection, and an infection on his scalp. If the sickness was left untreated, he could have developed asthma, which would have affected him for the rest of his life. The crazy part about that is that it only cost us $12 in total for 3 bottles of medicine. I typically spend that much for lunch out with my friends. However, many families can't afford it. That really goes to show how lucky we are as Americans to have the resources that we have. So when we have the opportunity to share them, we should. In the U.S., death isn't this common like it is here.
Yeah, and what here death is like drinking water. Every day you have someone can pass away. So that's why you have to enjoy every moment, every day, because you don't know what will happen the day after.
So then I had to ask myself, what can I do to help these people who have shown me so much love over the past week that I've lived with them? After much thought, I finally decided to open an online medical fund where I could raise money for the children of Njanda. I am eternally grateful for what these kids have taught me and the love they've shown me. They are lights that will forever shine bright within my heart. Njanda, I love you. Legi legi, atutalea. Panda. I love you.
I love you.
I'm going to miss you.
I'm going to miss you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
I love you.
I love you.